Cowboys Nation, buckle up because things have been nothing short of chaotic lately, and we need to break down exactly what's happening with this team and where we stand as the season winds down. The roller coaster of hope and frustration has been extreme, and honestly, the emotions this team evokes are a testament to why being a fan of America's team is both thrilling and exasperating. We went into this stretch with just enough optimism to dream about something miraculous, to imagine a scenario where everything clicks at the perfect time and the Cowboys make a run that shocks the league. And yet, as the latest games have shown, that path is increasingly narrow. The margin for error is razor thin, and every misstep compounds the challenge of getting back on track. It's hard not to feel a sense of disappointment when you look at the state of the playoff picture for Dallas. Technically, the Cowboys aren't eliminated, not this week at least, but the probability of a playoff berth is painfully low. Even if the team manages to win out, the numbers suggest a less than certain path. In past years, 10 wins, 10-6, and maybe even 10-7 could have been enough to punch a ticket to the postseason. This season, the reality is harsher. The team needs perfect execution in the remaining games, combined with significant misfortune for competitors in the division and conference. The Vikings, the Chargers, the Commanders, the Giants. All of these matchups are massive hurdles that require not just strategy, but near-flawless performance. Meanwhile, the Eagles, who sit comfortably ahead, would have to collapse in a way that is statistically improbable. The Lions are also in the picture, meaning the Cowboys need an almost perfect storm of results to even think about advancing. So while the playoff dreams aren't dead by the book, they are certainly teetering on life support, hanging by the thinnest of threads. The metaphorical diagnosis? Critical condition. The doctors have not yet declared over, but the prognosis isn't good, and the team will need miracles to pull through. Now, moving from hope to frustration, it's impossible to discuss the Cowboys without diving into the coaching and personnel issues that continue to haunt this team. Let's start with the defense, which has been a glaring problem throughout the season. Allowing 44 points against the Lions, the Broncos, and the Packers, while also giving up 37 against the Giants, speaks volumes about a unit that cannot consistently perform under pressure. It's not a single-player problem. It's systemic. Some of the players simply haven't delivered the level of performance expected at this stage of the season, but coaching decisions have also contributed to the struggles. Putting backups in critical coverage situations or leaving key players in snaps where they are ineffective leads to predictable breakdowns. There's no hiding from that, and it raises serious questions about decision-making on the coaching staff. The offensive side has shown flashes of brilliance, scoring 30-plus points multiple times, yet the defense's inability to hold opponents accountable has turned potential wins into frustrating losses. Even with the remaining 4 games of the season, the underlying issues on defense are structural and will not be solved overnight. Special teams have been another recurring headache. The kick coverage, return units, and overall situational awareness have regressed this year, causing unnecessary yardage losses and giving opponents favorable positions to capitalize on. Mistakes in this area have cost the team in critical moments, and the absence of veteran leadership in the special teams has only made these shortcomings more glaring. Even when players like Brandon Aubrey deliver exceptional performances, the consistency just isn't there. Every yard lost, every mismanaged play, compounds the difficulties faced by the rest of the team. It's clear that while offensive execution can keep the Cowboys competitive, lapses in defense and special teams continue to hold them back from realizing their full potential. Looking at individual performances, some overreactions are inevitable, and George Pickens has become a lightning rod for discussion. While there were moments where he struggled, particularly against Detroit, it would be short-sighted to let a single game redefine his value. Pickens has contributed consistently over the season and has proven he can perform at a high level. However, the inconsistencies in execution and the occasional mental lapses fuel a broader narrative about whether certain players can carry the load when the team faces adversity. The tendency to swing from extreme praise to instant criticism highlights the volatility of fan perception and the pressure that comes with wearing the star on the helmet. It is essential to evaluate performances within the broader context of the season rather than allowing one game to overshadow months of contributions. Quarterback play is another area that invites scrutiny. The natural reaction after losses is to point fingers at the quarterback, but in reality, the offensive struggles are far more nuanced. The line play calling, and overall execution all intersect to determine the outcome of games. While mistakes are magnified in losses and turnovers stand out in the highlight reels, the broader picture shows a team that has performed well statistically in many areas, yet has failed to translate numbers into wins consistently. The quarterback can be a catalyst, but victories require cohesion across all three phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. When one or more of these areas falters, the spotlight unfairly shifts onto the quarterback, even when the underlying issues are systemic and more complex than they appear on the surface. Coaching decisions, particularly those related to play calling and game management, have also sparked debates. While there are instances of creativity and strategic brilliance, there are also moments that defy logic and raise questions about preparation and situational awareness. Conservative choices in critical moments, such as opting for predictable plays or failing to capitalize on opportunities, can swing momentum and influence the final outcome. These decisions, combined with personnel limitations, contribute to the perception of inconsistency and frustrate fans who expect a higher level of execution from a team with playoff aspirations. Observing the interplay between strategy, execution, and individual performance reveals a team with immense talent that struggles to consistently harness it when it matters most. It's impossible to separate the emotional roller coaster from the analytical perspective. The highs of seeing the offense execute explosive plays are matched by the lows of defensive breakdowns and special teams blunders. Fans are left in a constant state of tension, weighing hope against harsh realities. The season has been a vivid illustration of how thin the margin between success and disappointment can be in the NFL. One week, the Cowboys look dominant, orchestrating brilliant drives and making big plays. The next, the same unit struggles to contain opponents or loses focus at critical moments. This unpredictability is part of what makes following this team so compelling. It also underscores the frustration of a fan base that desires consistency and excellence. Even in the midst of overreactions, debates, and critical moments, there's a clear recognition that the team has the potential to make a push if circumstances align. The offensive weapons are potent. The quarterback has the skill set to perform at an elite level, and flashes of strategic brilliance indicate that the pieces are there. The challenge lies in stringing together consistent execution across all phases while navigating a competitive playoff landscape that leaves little room for error. Every decision, every play, every adjustment matters now more than ever, and the coming weeks will test not just talent, but resilience, preparation, and adaptability. The narrative of this season is still being written, and the stakes have never been higher. As we move further into the final stretch of the season, the questions surrounding the coaching staff only grow louder. Brian Schottenheimer, in particular, has been under the microscope. There are moments that reveal his potential to make clever, aggressive calls that can shift momentum in a game, but there are also moments of puzzling conservatism and questionable judgment that leave fans scratching their heads. For instance, in crucial situations where the offense could have taken calculated risks to seize an advantage, the choice to settle for routine plays or conservative options has created missed opportunities. The consequences of those decisions are magnified in a league where every yard, every possession, and every timeout can be pivotal. It is this mix of flashes of brilliance and repeated caution that leaves a sense of inconsistency, a feeling that the coaching staff has not fully capitalized on the team's potential, and that the margin for error is disappearing fast. The interplay between play calling and player execution is especially significant in games where the Cowboys have shown both promise and frustration. The offense is capable of dazzling bursts of production, but is equally capable of stagnation, often when it matters most. The challenge for the coaching staff is to balance creativity with risk management to ensure that opportunities are maximized without exposing vulnerabilities. Against teams with formidable defenses or disciplined schemes, Even small mistakes can snowball into decisive moments. Fans are keenly aware of these patterns, noting that when the offense fails to execute efficiently, the spotlight often shifts unfairly onto the quarterback. Yet, the reality is that every phase of the team contributes to the outcome, and evaluating a single performance in isolation rarely captures the full picture. Meanwhile, defensive adjustments remain a pressing concern. The Cowboys' defense has struggled with both personnel and strategy throughout the season, and the lack of consistency has cost critical games. Players are placed in situations where their weaknesses are exploited, while coverage schemes fail to account for opposing strengths. The result is predictable breakdowns and significant yardage losses that shift pressure back onto the offense. Even in games where the offense performs at a high level, defensive lapses can erase advantages and force the team into reactive positions. The interplay of coaching decisions, personnel choices, and on-field execution underscores the complexity of the challenges facing the Cowboys, highlighting that success is contingent not just on talent, but on coordination, preparation, and adaptability under pressure. Special teams remain another dimension where the Cowboys season has been affected. While there have been standout moments from players like Brandon Aubrey, the overall unit has been inconsistent, with lapses in coverage and returns that have given opponents favorable positions. These errors, seemingly minor in isolation, compound over the course of a game and season, illustrating how all three phases of football, offense, defense, and special teams, must perform collectively to achieve consistent success. The lack of reliable execution in any one area magnifies the difficulty of sustaining winning performances and increases the pressure on both the coaching staff and players to deliver under high-stakes conditions. The emotional roller coaster for fans is intensified by the highs and lows of individual performances. George Pickens, for example, has been at the center of discussion after struggles in certain matchups. While some fans may react strongly to one poor performance, the broader season context shows that Pickens has been a reliable contributor across multiple games. This juxtaposition between isolated struggles and overall performance reflects the nature of perception in sports fandom, where a single event can distort evaluation, but the cumulative evidence often tells a different story. Players, just like coaches, are navigating the dual pressures of execution and expectation, and their performance cannot be divorced from the circumstances and support around them. The quarterback position, always a focal point, is subject to similar scrutiny. When turnovers occur or passes are incompletely executed, fans instinctively look to the quarterback as the primary source of blame. Yet a closer analysis reveals that offensive line protection, play calling, and situational factors play an equally critical role. The quarterback operates within a system that can either amplify or diminish his effectiveness, and the interplay of all these factors ultimately determines the outcome of a game. Even in situations where the quarterback performs admirably statistically, inefficiencies elsewhere can overshadow individual success, creating a perception of underperformance that is often misleading. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The NFL world is buzzing, and the rumor mill is spinning faster than ever. Word on the street has it that the Dallas Cowboys are on the verge of pulling off a blockbuster move that could send shockwaves through the league. Sources whisper that the Cowboys are closing in on Ja'Marr Chase, the electrifying wide receiver known for his jaw-dropping catches and breakneck speed. If this deal comes to fruition, it would pair Chase with Ceedee Lamb, creating a duo that could redefine the very notion of an aerial assault in the NFL. Imagine the possibilities. Lamb's precision route running and ability to make defenders look foolish combined with Chase's explosive vertical threat and sideline-to-sideline dominance. Opposing defenses would be forced to rethink everything they thought they knew about stopping the Cowboys' offense. Some insiders are already speculating that this pairing could push Dallas into the conversation of Super Bowl favorites overnight. The chatter isn't just about talent, it's about chemistry. Lamb has consistently proven he can command attention, And Chase has a knack for thriving under pressure and finding the soft spots in any coverage. Together, they could be unstoppable. Of course, nothing is official yet, and the NFL is nothing if not unpredictable. But the excitement among fans is palpable. Social media feeds are lighting up with mock highlight reels, memes, and heated debates about how defenses might cope. Analysts are weighing in too, imagining all the strategic headaches this duo would present. Would opposing coordinators double Lamb and leave Chase in single coverage? Or vice versa? The speculation alone is enough to send adrenaline coursing through Cowboys Nation. Even veteran players are reportedly buzzing about the potential signing, with some hinting that this could inject a new level of energy and confidence into the locker room. The rumor, whether it solidifies or fizzles, is already shaping the narrative of Dallas offseason and keeping football fans on the edge of their seats. For now, the NFL universe watches and waits, caught in the thrill of what could be one of the most talked-about acquisitions in recent memory. If the Cowboys land Jamar Chase, the sky won't be the limit. It will just be the beginning. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.